Thank you. So, I saw that during this opening registration interval, you had some interventions that it is too loud. Some of you didn't hear anything. This was just the tutorial prepared by the program authorities regarding JEMS in order to support you, in order to better understand the submission process for the application, and to better understand the system in his holiness. Okay, so we are here with you, representatives of Managing Authority, representatives of Joint Secretariat. I am Bogdan Mușat, Head of Joint Secretariat for Interreg 5A Romania, Bulgaria, and host of today's meeting. As I already said, the tutorial for JEMS, it has been posted some time ago in order for you to see the main aspects, the main issues, and we already received some of your questions sent during the registration of your participation. Our aim today is to discuss, to find answers to your questions, in order to prepare the applications, and to show you the way through this system. My colleague Răzvan Zamfir is prepared to take the microphone and to continue the meeting. Răzvan.
Okay, thank you, Bogdan. So yes, indeed, we prepared that tutorial to help you. My colleague Maris shared it for you before the meeting, just to have some, not to have just music, but also to have some useful information before starting the meeting. Yes, so before answering your questions, I'll just have a very brief presentation on what is JEMS and what is used for. So JEMS is short for a Joint Electronic Monitoring System, which is a web-based application which is built by the Interact program. For the benefit of all Interreg programs, and I know that I think most of the Interreg programs from Europe have decided to use JEMS in their for this programming period. JEMS is built on the harmonized implementation tools for this programming period, and it was developed according to the requirements of the EU regulation in place and the needs of Interreg program. So basically what Interact did was make the lives of the programs easier in order to make our lives easier as programs to implement such a database which is in line with the regulations and so on. Also, what's the purpose of JEMS is to ensure the collecting, recording, and storing of program and projects data for the purpose of monitoring, evaluation, verification, implementation, financial management. Just now, I realized that I haven't shared. Sorry. Yes, so now you can see the presentation. Okay, so the purpose of JEMS is to all the data related to the program and to the projects to be available here in this database. So for the projects, for example, the whole life cycle of the project from when it was submitted until it finalizes the implementation, and of course after that verifications and monitoring in the sustainability period, will also all the data will be available in JEMS. So as you already know, for this programming period, the Interreg Romania-Bulgaria program decided to use this system, this database, and in order to access it, the official platform is jems-robg.medlpa.ro. You can create your account there and start filling in your project. Okay. For help desk, if you have questions or if you have technical issues, you can contact directly the administrator at this email address, jems.admin@medlpa.ro, or if you have questions related to filling in the application or related, I don't know, how to create an account, you can contact us at the secretariat at helpdesk-robg@călăraș-cbc.ro. The developer Interact, so the program that made the system, also created an online manual. It's available here at this link. The presentation will be available after the meeting on our program website, and you can access the links from here. I will show you that it's also available in the description of the tutorial that we made. So yes, as Bogdan said earlier, in order to come to help the project applicants, the program applicants, we designed a tutorial, and it's can be accessed from here. I don't know if you can if you can see the YouTube page. Okay, so the tutorial is available on the YouTube page of the program. We have a YouTube page. Here we have tutorials from the previous programming period, from EMS and so on. And we also here have, we can find videos promoting the program. You can see that we already uploaded here the video from the webinar, which was took place in May. So it was an a Zoom meeting, an online meeting, which was recorded, and you can see it here. And the last video uploaded is the JEMS tutorial. Before moving to the tutorial, I would kindly ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we will have many more uploads, video uploaded in the future related to the call and to the program in general. So you don't want to miss out on that. So if you can click on the tutorial, it will open. This is the JEMS tutorial we prepared. I know it's long. It's over 2 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes actually, but it's split by chapters. And it is very easy to use. If you click below the video, you can see it will appear the chapters, and you can scroll to, and you can go to the chapter you are interested in. So yes, for the purpose of this Q&A session, because this is a Q&A session, it will not be a training on JEMS, because that's why we actually make this tutorial, in order to help you whenever you have you don't know how to fill in information in some fields and so on, you can go to this tutorial, go to the chapter you want. For example, if I'm interested in partner info, I just click to the chapter partner info and it will take me directly there, and you can watch only that chapter, not watch the whole video. So this would be helpful for you. And but for the purpose of this Q&A session, that's why we ask you if you can watch the whole tutorial before this meeting. So if you had questions, you can ask them directly here, or you can ask them in the registration, as some of you already did, and we will address the questions a bit later. But of course, if you haven't yet still watched the tutorial, you can watch it and you can ask if you have further questions at our help desk email address, and we will for sure answer to you. Okay, scrolling a bit down under the YouTube JEMS tutorial, if you click show more in the description, here you will find the link to the official platform of JEMS. And below you can see we can have the link to the Interact manual, the JEMS manual, which was created by Interact. Also, it's a disclaimer mentioned here in the description that before using JEMS and applying under the program, please carefully read the call-related guidance and the documents which are available on the program website. So, of course, this is basically like a technical tutorial on how to introduce data in JEMS, but all the rules of the call are available on the website, in the applicant's guide, and so on. Also, you also have here the available chapters. You can also use the links here to go to the chapters you want, and also below you will have access to these chapters. Okay, so apart from for this JEMS tutorial, you can also use when filling in the application form. You can also use the Annex K to the application form, which is the offline template, and here you will find many disclaimers and many useful information when filling in your application, and it's filled with guidances for each section, for each field which you have to introduce in the system. And also, don't forget that there is useful information. The most important information is available in the applicant guide. And you can also find here guidance related to how to fill in some information in JEMS. For example, as I mentioned previously in the tutorial, that when filling in the project acronym, you also have to write the type of your project, if it's soft or hard. It's very important because this will be verified in evaluation, and if you haven't introduced here the type of your project, then you will for sure receive a clarification on this. Okay, moving on with the presentation. So the present call, probably most of you already know, it was open on the 10th of May, and it will close on the 11th of September at 12 p.m. So make sure to submit your project within this deadline. If you, also, you can see here a print screen from the system with the open calls. You will see that there are 4 open calls available. There is, of course, the call open for the operations under priority 2 specific objectives 2.4 and 2.7. And there are also 3 other calls open, but these are dedicated only to the operations of strategic importance. So please do not apply under these other three calls, as they are dedicated to the already identified applicants. So Bogdan, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, it's possible to be here some representatives of the future
Yes, for sure. If the call is not dedicated to you, then don't apply.
Yes.
If you are an applicant of the strategic project, then yes, you already know probably where to apply. But if you want to apply for the open call, for the other operations on the priority 2, then use only this call. Thank you, Bogdan, for mentioning. Okay. Please apply in the deadline, as I also mentioned, and do not postpone the submission process until the last day of the call. It's very important because if there are many projects, so let's say many applicants which click submit at the same time, it is possible to have a problem with the server, and probably the server, in case we have many projects submitted at the same time, the server will fail, and we really do not wish for this to happen. So if you are sure that your project is filled in and you checked it again and again and again, don't postpone the submission. Just click submit, and it will be submitted.
In fact, this is one of our recommendation made not only for this project, but for the program, but for the previous programs also, and is available for all the other programs to make it before the deadline and not to leave it until the last day, because there
could be issues.
Yes, could be issues, and that's why our recommendation is to make it in time before the deadline. Thank you.
Yes, in time, but also please check it again and again. My recommendation, before clicking the submit button, give it also to another person to read. Maybe that person will see it with other eyes and give you some feedback on that. But yes, don't leave it until the last moment. Okay, now we can move on to the questions received during registration, and because the first 3 questions are related to the budget, I will make a brief presentation on how to fill in the budget, not going too much into details because the detailed descriptions are mentioned in the online tutorial. But let's start with the first question. If we don't have staff costs, how will fill in the other the budget options will be calculated? For this, I'm going to enter directly in the JEMS, and hope everybody can see my screen. Okay. So, for example, I have a budget inserted here, but just to answer first the question, is that it is not mandatory to select. It is not mandatory to select simplified cost options, staff cost, flat rate for staff cost. But if you don't select flat rate for staff cost, then you will not have flat rate for office and administrative cost or travel and accommodation, because the flat rate for staff cost is calculated as percentage from the real cost, from the direct cost, which means it's composed from the budget added between the budgetary chapters, expenses and services, equipment, and infrastructure and works. But the other 2 options for staff costs and travel and accommodation are percentage based on the staff costs. So if you can see, if I deselect here the staff cost flat rate and save the changes, you can see that now I have office and administrative cost and travel and accommodation flat rate at 0. This is because I deselected the staff cost flat rate. So as I mentioned, it is not mandatory to select flat rate for this call, but the program offers you the possibility to have between 1 and 20% for staff costs, again calculated based on the direct costs, and the office and administrative cost and travel and accommodation from 1% to 15%, so up to 15%, calculated based on the staff cost flat rate. Okay. Next question was how to calculate flat rate costs. So I think with the previous answer, I answered to this question. But let's make a brief simulation now on how to insert a budget. So let's first of all, a budget is linked to a partner. It's not so it's not separate. You have to create a partner in order to introduce the budget. So let's create a new partner. Let's just briefly mention here some of the data, the required data, the name of the partner, name of organization, in original language, in English language, the status, let's say it's a private, it's an NGO. One important thing, because I'm here at the creation of a partner, is to write a partner a PIC, partner registration code, partner identification code, I think it's short for, which is mandatory for all partners. So please make sure to introduce it. And I will show you, in case you do not have a PYC, a partner identification code, then if you go into Annex G, the Annex K, sorry, to the applicant guide, just a second to find it. You can see here, partner will also be required to fill in a participant identification code, which can be obtained by registering the organization on the EC participant register, which is accessible here. And you have a link here, which will take you directly to the site, the website eceuropa.eu, where you can create your own participant identification code. I think some problems with the internet. Okay, yes, and you can see you can register your organization here. This is in case you haven't already registered, and if you don't have a PYC. If you do, just simply write it here. If you don't, first register your organization, and after that write your number here, your code here. It's very important because it will be easier for us later on to identify your institution when searching for it in the system and so on. So I can create my my partner after I introduce all the information. I will skip now because the purpose now is to create a budget, but you can see that after creating the partner, I need to also introduce the different information related to my partner here, like the address, contact information of the legal representative, and of course of a contact person, the motivation, and after that, directly to the budget. So how to fill in the budget? First of all, select the flat rates. So let's say I want to go full 20% for staff, 15% for office and administration, and travel accommodation flat rate. If you don't, for some reason, if you don't need 20% for staff, you can just write here 15 or 10, how much you wish, and save the changes. After that, you can start filling in the direct costs. And the direct costs, as I mentioned, are composed of three budgetary chapters: external expertise, equipment, and infrastructure and works. And in order to add, let's say I will add one service. I just click on the add button. And after that, I have to write the description. Let's say this is service one, comment. This is a description of the service. Let's say I can select if this service is linked to an investment. And in order to do so, let's just save the changes for now. I must first introduce an investment. I showed this in the tutorial, but I'm going to show you now here in the work plan. Okay. I have already created a work plan, and you see there are different sections in the work plan, and one of them is investment. I create investment. Let's create another investment. Let's call it I2. I have to select delivery period, a justification. I will not be writing all the information necessary right now. Just no. Okay. And now if I created the investment, I can go back to the budget, of this partner, which I was working on. And you see under investment, now I can see the investment created. And if this particular expenditure is linked to the investment, for example, a feasibility study, a technical project, I don't know, just select your investment, which you created in the work plan, and link it with this specific expenditure. And save. You need to write after that a unit type. Let's say I have a contract, number of units. Let's say I have 2. Price per unit. I have to write here the price for each unit. Let's say €1,000, and you'll see I have a total now because I have 2 units and the price per unit is 1,000. So I have 2,000, the total. And this total, I have to be split by period depending on when you will actually spend the money for this expenditure. So let's say I'll have one contract in period 3 and another contract in period 6. You see now at the top of the table, I have a disclaimer: please update the budget table. The sum of the amounts per period must match the budget item total. So I need to split this amount, the total, between periods. Otherwise, the system will not let me go further. So now I will add also 1,000. You can see that the disclaimer now disappeared, and there is no gap. If I would have 0 here, then you'll see that I'll have a gap of €1,000. If I write it here, now the gap disappeared, and I can save the changes and move on to fill in the other parts of the other sections of the budget. So this is basically how I introduce the the direct costs. And after I introduce the direct costs, the system, you can see, already calculated automatically the related flat rates for staff, office and administrative costs, and travel and accommodation. And at the top of the screen here, the budget, I can see more detailed calculation for each budgetary chapter, the total, and that's all. And here I can also see the lump sums. So the lump sums will not be introduced here in the budget here. It's a separate section. It's E1, project lump sums, which is for now introduced only for the first two partners, because within this call, the program decided to offer up to 14,000 euro for project preparation, lump sum for project preparation, and up to 6,500 euro for closure. And this amount is at project level. And you can split this amount between project partners, however you wish. So this is also, the lump sum is also a simplified cost option. So you don't need to, there's no need to, for justification documents, you don't need to justify this amount. You will receive them automatically. The amounts for project preparation will be received after the contract signing, and for the amounts for closure, possibly at the final project report. So now if I have created another partner, I can also add him part of project preparation if needed. You can see if I add here for him 2,000 euro, let's say, I have a gap because I already exceed the 14,000, which is allocated by the program. So I have to, for example, reduce the amount from the lead partner and add here 8,000 in order to have no issue. You can see now the system has no disclaimers, and I can save. And if I go back to the project budget here, you can see in the table that now appears the 2,000 euro I added as lump sum. Also, an important thing to mention. So in the applicant guide, it is mentioned that apart from the lump sum offered for project preparation, the program can allows also direct costs for project preparation. So you'll have the 14,000 euro, which is available at project level, and you can split it between partners. But for example, if the partner 3, which we started to fill in the budget, also has something else. Let's say that this first expenditure service 1 is also related to project preparation. No, let's create another one. Let's have service 2. Also right here a description. Let's say this is not linked to any investment. We also have contract. Number of units 1. Let's say 2,000 euro. So if this particular service, this particular expenditure is related to project preparation, but will be reimbursed based on real cost, not as part of the lump sum, then I have to mention here in the comments, in this description, that this service is related to project preparation. And I'll just write here that it's for project preparation. And the whole amount will be introduced in period 1, because this is the period in which you will have to request the amount related to this to this expenditure, which is related to project preparation, but based on real cost. So for, as I mentioned, for lump sum, you don't need to justify the cost related to that. For the project preparation based on real cost, you have to send justifying documents and so on. You have to prove everything, and you will request it only in period 1. If you don't request it in period 1, then it will not be eligible. You will not be eligible to request it again. So we'll make sure to request it in period 1 in order not to have issues. Good. So basically, this is how to, in short, not in very detailed form, but in short, this is how to fill in a budget. And because we're still here at the budget, I can also show you the co-financing, section. And so here you will have to split the budget between funding sources, financing sources. You know that a budget for a project submitted under our program has 3 financing sources: the ERDF, which is the co-financing from the European Union, the own contribution of the partner, and the Romanian or Bulgarian state budget, the budget of the funding received from the state budgets. So for the ERDF, it's pretty simple. You just select here from co-financing source the ERDF, and it will be calculated automatically by the system. The rate covered for under this programming period is 80%. Now, for the other 2 financing sources, you will have to calculate them yourselves. So it's not complicated. Here, under this origin of partner contribution, you just have to select the legal status. One thing important to mention here, the legal status of the contribution for the own contribution of the partner has to be the same one as the legal status of the partner. So as I showed you when I introduced the first data related to this partner, I had to select the legal status, and I selected private because I said that this is an NGO. So when I go to co-financing, just select this again. When I select the own contribution, the legal status of contribution of the own contribution of the partner, I need to select the legal status private also. But I also have to add a new contribution. So I have to write here, for example, let's say this is a Bulgarian partner. I'll write here BG, state budget. And now it's easy to identify that this source is related to the Bulgarian state budget. And the legal status will be public, of course. So in order now to calculate these amounts, I told you that you have to calculate them yourself. So the own contribution of the partner, according to the applicant's guide, is 2%. And the difference of 18% is covered by in this case, Bulgarian state budget. If it would be a Romanian beneficiary, then it would be the Romanian state budget. Okay, so I just first have to calculate the 2%. I will show you. So we have a total budget of 6,780. Calculate the 2%. Just a second. Don't know if you can see. So this would be the own contribution. Okay. No. Just one thing to mention, when you introduce amounts with digits after the comma, then you'll have to use here a comma, not a point. So for those of you who used EMS in the past, so the system for the previous programming period for Intellect 5A, you would use dot here, but now you have to use comma for this. This is how the system was conceived. And you can see after I introduce here the own contribution, which is 2%, the system shows me under the table in red that I have a difference of 1,220.4 euro. And it's simple. You don't have to calculate the difference of 18%. You just copy this difference from here in red. You just copy it in the related field. Okay, and you can see now that there is no difference. I can save my changes, and I have 2% for the own contribution and 18% from the state budget. And this is how you introduce the co-financing for each partner. It's pretty simple. Okay. I see we have a question in chat. Hello, the split up option. Yes. Sorry, I'm not sure I understand what is this related to. The split up option.
Răzvan, may I intervene, please?
Yes.
Hello, this is Marcela Gădeanu from the Managing Authority. Indeed, you have a possibility to split this amount, the lump sum, but in case you decide not to split them, you can put zero for, you can put the entire amount to the partner that it is entitled to receive that amount, and zero, the difference, to the upper partners which don't want to receive part of the lump sum. This is the easiest solution in order for you to allocate the entire amount of money of the lump sum to a dedicated partner. But this, of course, it is up to you. It is a project partner decision. It is not ours. We just offered you this possibility to have this flexibility depending on your cost and the involvement of each partner in terms of financial items. And I just want to compliment Răzvan for the presentation. I would like to add something. Indeed, we offer you the possibility to request from the program budget the reimbursement with the real cost for preparation, but provided that the rules of the applicant's guide are observed, because you can request such cost only for a certain types of documents. All of them are technical documentation which are related to big or to investments or other kind of infrastructure. But we recommend you to carefully read before including such amount in as preparation cost under real cost, because we will check it, and in case is not duly justified, the amount, regardless when you are requesting, it cannot be supported by the program. Also, what is very important for you, Răzvan, if you can go back to budget to below, just below to your example, because I would like for you to make very clear that when you are planning the expenditure for periods, you should be very careful, because you have to correlate this spending or planification with the delivery period of all of the deliverable you envisage, because we will check this during the evaluation. We will want to see that the financial plan is correlated with your implementation, with your planning of the activity. So I just want you to know from the beginning, when you are doing all this planning, in order to receive high scores, to ensure this correlation between all the this information. So that's all from my side for now. Thank you, Răzvan.
Thank you, Marcela. Very important. Yes, please, please feel free to come in to intervene whenever you want, because yes, it's important. These disclaimers are very important because I'm showing most of the technical part, and it's important to also mention that there are rules of the code that have to be respected, of course. I see we also have other questions in the chat. There is a limit of the budget lines which must be created. No, but as far as I know, you can create as many budgetary lines as you want. Okay. Are filled in as lump sum and expenses. Yes, I think you want to intervene, Sveto.
I have a question. Hello, all of you. We have. Do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we have the experience in the previous program with the working packages. In the previous program, we have it automatically created in the program, and we have it like project preparation, project management, after that the working packages, investments, etc. And communication. Should we have to create them in the working packages separately? This is my question, because we do not have them splitted this time.
So no, yes, you don't have predefined work packages as previously in EMS, so you will create your own work packages. For related to project management, you have, let's say, a dedicated section where you will introduce the data related to your project management activities and so on. So you don't need to create a work package related to this.
Okay.
Did I answer your question, Marcela?
Yes, Răzvan, I would like just to complement your answer. Indeed, it's correct. So, what we recommend you is to limit your work package to a certain number, depending on the type of the project and the complexity of the project, around 2 or 3 work packages, and this should be related to technical activities. You will not have work package or working package related to communication as you did, as you had in 2020 program, but this will be included in each specific working package as a specific type, a specific objective related to communication. Also, we will not have to create a work package related to project management. This will be included exactly as Răzvan said under this section, under the project management. Here you have to describe everything that is related to the project management of your project. Here you have to describe what you are doing and so on. And also here you have a section where you can describe the information related to the communication activities, but at administrative level. Here you will describe what you didn't include in the dedicated working packages. So all these are included, detailed in the applicant's guide, and also in the offline format of the application. So indeed, working packages must be created by you, but for technical aspects, not for the administrative ones. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marcela. We had another question in chat related to project preparation. Costs are filled in as lump sum and except this, they must be filled in as external expertise as a direct cost. So yes, as Marcela said, you have to respect these rules. I will show you in the applicant guide. So apart from the lump sums offered by the program, it is possible to ask reimbursement of direct costs for project preparation, but only related to annexes to the application for financing. And then there are mentioned here some examples: feasibility study, equivalent technical document, cost benefit analysis, and so on. Okay, I think we had another question. So related to travel and accommodation, your question is regarding the daily allowances. So the daily allowances will be also reimbursed under the flat rate. They are part of the travel and accommodation costs. So there is no other option in order to request daily allowances for the travel of the members of the project implementation team. So they will be part of the travel and accommodation costs. Okay, if we don't have other questions on the budget, I mean, if you want, you can intervene, you can ask questions in the chat. But for now, if you don't have specifically on the budget, I have also to address some other questions which we received during registration. One is related to target groups. Section C24. So I have again the question if there is a limit of budget lines which must be created. No, so there is no limit of budget lines you can create under the direct costs, of course. Okay. Well, let's finish first with the questions from the registration, and after that we'll come back to the questions we received now at the meeting. So we had a question related to target groups. If under this subsection you have to quantify the groups. So the simple answer is yes. Here in section 2.4, when you create the target groups, you select, for example, if I select the target group, I don't know, let's say local public authority. In the specification, yes, you need also to quantify the target to quantify the target group. For example, if we have selected here local public authority, let's say that I'm addressing 2 under this project, or if I select general public, then maybe it's 100,000 people, and so on. So yes, you have to quantify the target groups. And the last question received during registration is related to, and the application of the question must be related directly to an activity. How do you proceed in the case of event organization services? You are related to the meeting. So this one, I think Marcela also already said that for the activities related to the project management team, you have a separate section here in project management, and here you can describe also the activities related to the steering committee meetings of your project and so on. Okay, let's move on back to the chat. I see we have several questions from Mr. Stoyanov. Is it obligatory to have a lump sum for project closure, including the project budget? No. Marcela, if you want to.
My feeling it's again now is up to you, because as I could see, the JEMS system allows you to submit the application if you put 0 there, but we don't understand this perspective because it is easy money, let's say so, because you you put efforts in, and you will not have a possibility to request otherwise the cost for closing the project. So we recommend you to use it.
Yes, yes, because yeah, as you said, if you submit the project without it, then you can no longer add it later. So think about it now, from now. Is it possible for us to delete an application form that we have created in JEMS? As far as I know, no, you cannot. If you already created it, you cannot delete it. Is it obligatory for all project partners to use the same percentages for staff cost, office and administrative costs? No. And the program offers you the possibility to select from 1 to 20% for staff costs, and from 1 to 15% from the staff costs for the other two. So it's not, you can select, you can have 1%, you can have 5%, however you wish.
Yes, indeed, that's it. It's correct. And we recommend you to clearly set this percentage according to each partner needs. You don't have to follow the same percentage if a lead partner uses the maximum. You can go with a minimum, 1, 2, or 3, depending on your real needs. Because at the end of the day, it is up to you to build a budget that is in line with your needs and which will allow you to implement your technical activities. You don't want to block some money which are not needed for travel and accommodation for staff and for office and administration, and to allocate this money to the technical activities. So this is the flexibility approach that this program took in order for you to create real based budgets.
Thank you. Let's move on. We have another question. What is the indicative period of starting the project? It is very important for the indication of time of carrying out the project events. So if I go back to the project identification, you can see that I don't have to select a date when the project will start. I just select the project duration. The project start date will be mentioned in contracting. When the project will be contracted, then we will select the start date of the project. But for now, you only introduce the project duration in months. If I understood well the question, I think this was the question. It is very important to indicative period of starting the project. So, but as this is from the JEMS point of view, from the point of view of the program, not quite sure. In September is the deadline for submission. We'll have evaluation, a selection process, and after that, contracting process. I cannot say for now when the projects will be contracted. Of course, it will be next year. This is for sure. What is the meaning of realization of press articles estimated within the ceiling list? Paper review, TV, website, or?
Well, we don't have a ceiling list. This
Yes,
is a
that's
great
what
news
I
for
was
this
thinking.
program. So it is up to you. Actually, you will have to have some press release. It's up to you to choose the tool, the corresponding or the tool that you consider most efficient. Can be in written press, it could be online or on websites, on online press. Depends on you. We don't have ceiling list, so it is up to you how you decide in order for you to reach as much as possible from your target group and to inform properly the citizen from the area on the results of your project, on depending on the type of this press release, because you will have to have at least 2 press releases during the project implementation period. So you can choose to have one at the beginning of the project and one at the end of the project. If you choose to have one at the beginning of the project, then you will discuss or present what you intend to do. And at the end, you'll present the results. But if you plan to have more press release, this depends on the content of the message you want to promote. So it is up to you to decide the exact tool use in order to reach as much as possible to your target group and the citizen of the program area.
Okay. Have another question. Could you please clarify the value of the lump sum for project preparation and final reporting is foreseen to be with VAT included if the case? So this amount is the exact amount you will receive, 14,000 euro per project for project preparation and 6,500 for closure. So probably my colleagues, when they calculated this amount, they took into consideration the VAT, but this is the actual amount that you will receive.
And as Răzvan already told you, we will not check what's behind this amount. You receive this amount and it is up to you how you will cover your expenses made during the preparation process.
Yes. Okay, again, feel free to intervene if you want to raise the hand, if you want to ask a question. If not, you can also add it in the chat. I think we finished with the questions received during registration.
I have some
Question?
some other questions, yes. The questions received during the registration period, there were few questions which are not related to GEMS, and that's why I read them separate. Let's say separate, but giving an answer. First, of them is related to like this. Are organizations registered in Bucharest eligible partners? As there is a list with already given answers to different questions. This answer shall be found on that list also, but I say that according to the provisions of the applicant's guide, applicants outside the program area, but from Romania and Bulgaria, can also participate in projects, but only in exceptional cases, namely, if are competent in their scope of action for certain parts of the eligible area, as ministries, national agencies, research institutes, if they carry out activities that are beneficial for the program area, if their participation must bring clear added value and expertise to the implementation of a project and has to be beneficial for the program area, and if they cannot, and most important, they cannot take the lead partner role. Still, the eligibility of the partners is to be analyzed during the evaluation process based on the justification documents submitted, and of course in accordance with eligibility criteria set in applicant's guide. As I saw in chat, our colleague Marcela sent the link to the list with questions and answers related to this call, and here you may find all the questions and the list of questions and answers. And we are inviting you to check this list, and before to send the message, the questions to us, please check this list.
Then I will, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I would like just to take the opportunity for this, just to promote our program site, because it is a new one. And here you have everything that you need. Razvan, if you can share it, it is great. Here you have the tutorial, you have the link to GEMS, you have a presentation that were made during our webinars, and we'll keep on uploading all the information materials here. So please check all the time this section of the website, because here you will find everything, including our presentation from today when it is ready. Sorry, Bogdan, for this, but
Thank you. It's okay to promote our program website, and yeah, here you may find everything you need. We like to say. Okay, and we have another questions not related to GEMS received for today meeting. It's received from a private school, and the question is, the private school has its own rooms and facilities which can be offered for the needs of the project. Is it possible for these rooms and facilities to be conducted a renovation and furnishing with funding from the program? As we saw, the private school is organized as limited. Please be aware that the SMEs are not eligible under this call. And not in the last please have in mind that the open call currently launched under the program is dedicated to priority 2, a green region. Specific objective 2 for promoting climate change adaptation and disaster, risk prevention, resilience, taking into account ecosystem-based approaches. And specific objective to 7, enhancing protection and preservation of nature, biodiversity and green infrastructure, including in urban areas and reducing all form of pollution. The project submitted under this call should address one of the 2 mentioned specific objectives and the related indicators. All the foreseen activities should contribute to achieving the set objectives and indicators. So, as we saw, the private school would be not eligible as SME under this call, but the final point of view would be that of the evaluation committee.
Thank you, Bogdan. We have here another question in the chat. Will the GEMS calculate automatically the percentage of the investment activities? Well, after you fill in the budget, the budgetary chapter related to infrastructure and works will be calculated automatically. I'm not sure exactly what the question is referring to, but let me show you how the system calculates. So when I go in and see the budget, not this one here, which is split by chapters, budgetary chapters. Just a second. So I understand why you asked the question is because you want to see if it's soft or hard. I'm just looking now. And no, I don't think the system calculates the percentage of a budgetary chapter, but you have a tool. You can export your budget in Excel. And you can calculate it in Excel afterwards. I also mentioned in the tutorial, just a second to see. So what exactly, what are the tables from the tables from the GEMS are also available here in this exported Excel. And now here you can play however you want with your budget, with your data. And here this tool can help you with this to calculate the percentage of the budgetary chapter you want. I think we have other questions. Yes, if the project is soft. I understood. Okay. So until you think about other questions, I noted here some important things to mention before we end the meeting. The first I already mentioned, very important to mention the type of your project in the project acronym section. Also in the project summary to mention if you have non-eligible expenditures, mention them here, describe them here in this section because there is no other dedicated section in the system for this. Okay. For horizontal principles, just a second. There are 3 horizontal principles which are automatically included here in the GEMS in section 7. Sustainable development, equal opportunities and discrimination and equality between men and women. But there are also two others that you have to address is the new European Bauhaus and the green procurement. And these initiatives, because there is no dedicated field here to be filled in, you can include them here in the project in section C2, project relevance and context. Here under C2.5, you can add another strategy, let's say, and here you can write other. And you can add here, for example, the new European Bauhaus initiative and describe your contribution here. So this is because there is no other dedicated section in the system for this, and you can add it here. This was also mentioned in a presentation in May, which was made in May by my colleagues from the Managing Authority. Okay. Yes, Marcela.
Yes, Răzvan. And here you also have to include the do no significant harm. Exactly as Răzvan explained, you add other, you write under the contribution do no significant harm, and you will detail how you consider this principle. Also here, you should include other relevant strategies, policies from regional or local level that are relevant for your project. You could include around 2 or 3 maximum strategies, but at the level of a project. So you should go and should really, you have to really know your territory in order to identify the most relevant strategy to which your project is contributing. And this should be also included here. But also you should bear in mind that you have a limited number. You cannot include 20 strategies here, but you should select the most important 2 or 3 strategies. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcela. One very important thing, I, let's say, took a peek at the projects already inserted in the system just to see just to see some things, and I noticed that one project introduced all the data in Bulgarian language. Very important. The official language of the program is English. So please, all the information included in the system has to be written in English. This is available for all sections, of course, except of course for the name of the organization which is applying in original language. This is the only place where you can write the name of your organization in Romanian or Bulgarian, if what is the case. But all the other information has to be written in English. It is very important. And also it's available for the description of the application attachments and the annexes. Also, when you create when you fill in the name of your attachment, of your annex, has to be written in English. No Romanian, no Bulgarian. It has to be easily identified by everyone who will read the project afterwards. Don't forget, the project will be evaluated by Romanian, Bulgarian evaluators, and everybody can could easily read your project, and so I see that we have another question in chat. We have the launching conference, where both the staff members and other members will participate. The cost regarding the catering services, for example, are seen as direct costs. Okay, so for organization of events, yes, this will be service. I can ask my colleagues to intervene if I'm saying I'm not saying something.
No, you are correct, Răzvan.
Okay.
Indeed, they are under the services, but if they are related to the program, to the project team, they are covered by flat rate. Only if they are events and only the costs related to the outside persons can be supported under direct cost.
Under direct cost, yes.
So you should eliminate the staff members from this contract and include only the outside persons.
Okay, thank you. Okay, move on. Yes, you have a button, a magic button, as I heard someone, my colleagues from MA mentioned it in the presentation. Yes, it's a run pre-submission check button. It is very useful, very important, because it shows you exactly where you have an issue. You see, if I run the pre-submission check, I can see exactly where I need to go and fix the issue. Now, the system only shows me where a field was left unattended. It was not written anything in that respective field. It's not checking what you are writing there. So it's your responsibility to check also again what you have written, because if, for example, here for example, partner 3, let's say VAT, it says VAT is missing, and if I just write here a line, the system will see the line and will see that there is no issues there. But if there is a field that you have to include, you have to write something in the respective field, then that will be checked during evaluation, and you will receive clarifications that you haven't filled in the field correctly. So this is useful, but only for, let's say, a technical point of view. That shows you if you left a field empty. You haven't written anything in that respective field. But what is written in that field, it's your responsibility, and you need to. And this is my recommendation, to read again the whole project before submitting it. So you don't have any issues afterwards in evaluation. Okay, I already showed you how to export, and besides the project budget, you can also export your whole application in a PDF format, and you can share it between you and your partners, or however you wish. And one more important section is project privileges. This is a section to which you will have access also after you submitted the project, because you can add other users that could have access to your application to view, to edit, or to manage. One important disclaimer mentioned also by the JEMS: users working at the same time in the same page may lead to unexpected loss of data. So yes, my recommendation would be to not have more than one users at an application. You are working at an application at the same time. This may lead to I don't know, possibly the system will not save, or you haven't one of the persons haven't checked what the other one wrote, and you could have differences. I don't know. It's important to have one person working at one application at the same time. It would be the best way in order to make sure that you don't have issues later on. Okay. Basically, I think this was the most important part. Yes, Marcela?
Yes, I would like just to add another important thing, because it is crucial for everybody. When you are including your email, please including the email that you are checking, because the entire correspondence communication during the evaluation process should be carried out based on that email address. And you have to check it all the time, because you will have to react in a limited time to the request from the program structure. So be very careful when you choose the email address, and be sure that it is checked regularly.
Yes, very important to mention that. I just remembered one disclaimer that the system is currently now working on version 6, but in the quite near future, I think at the end of this month, possibly, it will be updated to version 7. And I'm not 100% sure how it will look like, but it will be the interface will be a bit changed. There will not be any modifications on the sections of the application form, so this will remain the same. But the interface, the colors, they will be a bit changed. So don't be scared. There's nothing. There will be nothing wrong with your project. It will be the same. The sections will be the same. Just the interface will be a little bit changed. And well, I think we will also have something written on Facebook or something mentioning when we made the update, so you also know that we made this update to version 7, which I think will have some new things which will bring to the system, but maybe we will mention them then when we will make the update.
Yeah, and what's important to add is that it will not alterate the information already included by you in the system, in the application form, if you already started working on that. It will be just prettier and with new functions.
Yes, with a very new important function, but we'll see it then. Okay, so have other questions. Don't forget that you can also ask questions on help desk. Also, if you have technical issues, you can write directly to the administrator. I showed you earlier the email address.
Keep an eye on our website. There will be more information about future actions, future events for promoting the call for proposals. The very next events will be the day after tomorrow in Ruse. And there will be a section also for partner search. If you are interested, the event will be organized in conference room at the Danube Plaza Hotel in Ruse.
Indeed, we'll all be there together with our colleagues for JS, and we are looking forward to meet you there because we have prepared many things for you, including group work activities. So it would be very helpful if you could join us. I hope you already registered. Okay, so that's it from my side.
Don't forget to use the tutorial because I think it will answer most of your questions if you have, but of course we are available for other questions on help desk.
Okay, if no other interventions, I would like to thank you for your time, for your interest in our program, and for your for involving in developing this event, sending your questions and showing your interest for the opportunities offered by our program. We would like to say good luck and Marcela?
Yes, I'm here.
I thought that you want to say something.
No, I'm here, but
Sorry.
I totally
Sorry.
agree with you. We are here for you.
Okay, so until the next time, bye.
Bye-bye and good luck.
Good luck.